Hey everyone, I'm here in downtown Toronto at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre for the 5th annual Girl Talk Empowerment Day. I've got an amazing lineup of interviews for you on Date with Daniel with organizer Katie Zappieri, YouTube sensations Shameless Maya and Rebecca Black, Etalk reporter Chloe Wilde, and body positive activist Meredith Shaw. All of these interviews will inspire you to live, inspire you to breathe, inspire you to be yourself, and most importantly, inspire you to love yourself as well. Check it out. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's so nice to finally do this.
I know, you know what, so I was just telling you, I've been wanting to do this for a very long time because we've known each other for a few years now, and we always run into each other at these really swanky parties, and then there's these random moments of deep talk, and then we'll only get it for 5 seconds, and then we have to be off doing what we have to do. So now I want to get into that deep talk, because there's always a lot that I've always wanted to ask you, because I can tell that there's a lot more than what meets the eye when it comes to Chloe Wilde, you know? And I know you're in entertainment, and I know it's a frivolous space, and I know they say, entertainment is fake. But I think you're one of the genuine people that we have in that space right now. And I know it's rooted from your personal experience. And today you're hosting Girl Talk,
Yes.
It's a day to empower young girls, young women, and we're all here to support one another. And having grown up around very strong female figures, it's important for me to have that conversation and empower girls.
Yeah.
But where does that need to be a part of something like this come from?
Honestly, I think when I was growing up, I would have greatly benefited from something like Girl Talk Empowerment Day. Just going up on that stage and seeing 1,500 girls come together because they believe in being positive role models, being kind to one another, spreading kindness and positivity and being global citizens is so beautiful. And it's such a nice reminder that there is so much good in this world. But growing up, I didn't have access to any of that. I didn't know or believe that these kinds of things existed. So now as an adult doing what I do in television, it's really great to kind of experience it as an adult because I keep seeing myself in these young girls and I keep seeing their struggles or their desire to do good and to be good people. And so it's really special to be a part of it as an adult. And I think it's because I would have just, I think I would have just really enjoyed something like this growing up.
And why would you have enjoyed it so much? What is it about growing up as a child that you think would have had you benefit from something like this?
Oh my gosh, because growing up is hard. It is so hard. And I was the queen, and I still am, at putting on a mask. I was so talented. Truly, I think that is my greatest talent, is having an awful experience in my personal life and then going to school and pretending like everything is great and being the straight A student who's on every sports team, on all the leadership communities. But really on the inside, I was hurting and I was all alone. And because there were no safe spaces like this in my small town, none of those needs got addressed. So instead, it was you just put on a happy face and you go out into the world and you do the best you can, which I think is very important. But I think it's also really important to have days like this, conversations like this, where you don't just have a smile on your face. And sometimes you go a little deeper and you talk about the hard things so that you can go out into the world and be an even better person.
It's such a catch-22 if you think about it, because it's one of those things that serves you in moments of distress. And it's one of those things that can really hurt you if you don't know how to stay genuine. But it's funny because a lot of people that I come across who are so good at putting on a mask, it's very hard for them to admit that they do that. And so how did you get to that point where you can say, you know what, that's a mask I'm putting on right now because I needed to get through this?
Yeah.
Or do you still struggle with admitting that you're doing that in a situation?
I mean, saying it with you now is not something that I think I would have been able to say not that long ago. I do think that being in the public eye and being an entertainment reporter is something that I'm very proud of and something I'm really excited to be a part of. But I do see that I try to see the world how the audience sees the world. So if someone enjoys me on television, maybe they follow me on social media. And as you know, the world of social media is not a true representation of life or what's going on in our personal lives. And the day I started thinking about the young girls that maybe follow me on social media or watch me on television was the day that I wanted to be more honest. And the day that I wanted to start admitting to the fact that, you know what, not every day is a good day. Just because pretty photos get posted on Instagram doesn't mean that that's my life all the time. And so by putting myself in their shoes, I made the realization and the decision to be more honest, to still show the glamorous sides of what I do because it's a fun part and I do get a lot of enjoyment.
Yeah.
But then to also take those moments where there's no makeup, there's no cameras, I'm in my sweatpants, I'm having a really bad day, and for whatever reason, I just want the girls to know that it's okay not to be okay.
Mm-hmm. You spoke about having a challenging childhood.
Yeah.
What was so challenging?
You know, I grew up in a very, very small town,
Mm-hmm.
and by the time we got to that small town, I had moved around a lot. I had been, multiple schools per school year due to, my parents splitting up. I lost a brother when I was younger. My mom went into another marriage, and then that divorce kind of went bad. And then we finally ended up in our small town. So by the time I ended up in that small town, I was entering high school, which is already challenging enough.
Mm-hmm. You're already like a grown adult
right?
after all of that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at that point, but I didn't realize in the moment that was just my life, like constantly moving around, losing family members, betrayal, unstable home life. And then all of a sudden you're supposed to go to high school and everything's supposed to be great. And I think that was the very first time I started wearing a mask, because when we moved to that small town, I was like, this is a great fresh start. No one has to know anything about my life. I get to decide who I am in high school. And, but all of that previous stuff was still a part of my life. The struggles of that and being raised by a single mom who was doing the best that she could. But this was a woman who had lost a son, been through 2 divorces, been dealt a really brutal deck of cards, and was trying her very best to raise 2 kids in a small town, and she had all these bills, and it was hard. It was really, really hard.
Yeah. I identify with that because I grew up with a single mom, and, we were dealt a very brutal deck of cards too, but there's a sense of resilience that you learn from doing those type of things. Where would you think that resiliency really saved you growing up? Because, being young, being thrust into situations like that, and then going home where it's not necessarily the best energy because people are dealing with things. How did you find pockets of resiliency and hope and empowerment?
I think resilience and grit are 2 of the most powerful attributes someone can hold for themselves. And I think they're quite challenging attributes. But I think if you can have resilience and you can have grit, you can truly overcome anything. And I think the way I got through it was by being busy. I made myself available to any sports team, any committee at my high school. I would babysit, I would dog sit, I would house sit, anything that would get me kind of out of the house and into the community, because like you said, sometimes when you go back to your home and the energy is not the most positive, it's really easy to kind of spiral downwards and to start to ruminate negatively. So at a very young age, I just decided to fill my schedule with as many activities as I could, and that allowed me a place in the world that was very positive. I met individuals, I got involved in my community, I was very physically active, which was important to me growing up, because I think it's important to be healthy, both spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. But I just filled my schedule. I was just like, oh, someone needs to be on the debate team? Sign me up. Yearbook committee needs a photographer? I'll learn how.
But I'm going to be totally presumptuous here, because I think by being that busy, you probably turn into a bit of a workaholic.
Say what? Me? Workaholic?
And then disconnection becomes so hard.
Yeah.
So how are you managing that? Because there's so much noise around today, you wake up to tweets, you go to bed to Instagram posts, and it's a lot. Yeah. But, being busy saved you, but at the same time, it could completely go the wrong way too. How are you managing that?
Daniel, you are so right. I think being a workaholic and being busy is a very intense double-edged sword. It can bring you so many positives, but then at a certain point you need to step back and be like, if I'm that busy, am I really taking care of myself? Yeah. And am I dealing with the things that I need to deal with to be a normal person in society instead of just, go, go, go. Managing that is something I'm figuring out in the moment. I'm not very good at that, truthfully. I think I am a yes person, and I'm very happy to be a career woman right now, and I love saying that, but I do realize that my sleep starts to go down, then my health starts to sway, and I get sick. So I have to know those signs. I have to know the signs of when I'm not sleeping enough, and then when I start to feel my immune system go down, that's when I really need to pump the brakes. And when I pump the brakes, the things that are most effective for me are simple things. It's going to a yoga class. It's pouring yourself a bubble bath. Maybe it's going out dancing with your girlfriends. Like, it's something really, really simple. And I think also just being in the moment, not always feeling the need to share everything on social media.
Except right now.
But it's very addictive. I share so much of my life on social media. And I'm I'm okay saying that out
What I love
loud.
about you.
But I do try to show the different moments. And I
Yeah.
try to show not always the prettiest. But disconnecting is hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, but talking about all this leads me to Healthy is Hot. Because I know it's this personal campaign that you've started on social media that, everyone's kind of joining in on. I have yet to join it, and I'll tell you why after. But Healthy is Hot, does it stem from this inability to really balance the unhealthy with the healthy and wanting to make sure that you're disconnected and balanced all at the same time?
Healthy is Hot actually was born out of the Much Music VJ Search, which was the reality show that thrust me into the world of entertainment and had me abandoning my science degree. And it was a reality show that changed my life in many, many positive ways. But while I was doing that, I was so engulfed in it that I stopped taking care of myself. And I ended up losing a ton of weight, and I looked back at photos and I was like, you do not look healthy. And I remember one of the challenges was in Ottawa where my mom lives. And she looked at me and she said, sweetheart, I love you. I'm so proud of you for what you're doing, but you have to take care of yourself. Like she was shocked. And so that night I made a promise to her and a promise to myself that I was going to put my health first. So I went to the gym at whatever hotel we were at, and I posted a photo on Instagram, and it was me at the gym, and it was the very first time I used the hashtag Healthy is Hot. And I think it started there because I was thrown into this world of TV where cameras add 10 pounds and everyone on TV is skinny. And yes, I'm a small girl, but I wasn't seeing myself accurately. And so I stopped taking care of myself. And so that moment where my health was at its worst was where Healthy is Hot was born. And since then, I've been using it and I've been noticing people have been responding to it. And so I decided, well, if I respond to something as simple as a hashtag that basically promotes that healthy is beautiful and we should all strive to be healthy because at our healthiest we can achieve anything, then maybe I should do something great with that. Maybe I should share that in a bigger way with people. And that's where the Instagram page was created, and that's where the website is created. And my vision for Healthy is Hot is huge, but baby steps. Baby steps.
So how would you see your health right now in all its glory, in all its various different forms? How healthy are you today?
How healthy am I today? Well, Girl Talk Empowerment has all of my favorite treats.
Total.
So right now, healthy is a lot of sugar, and I'm not mad about it. No, but honestly,
balance.
I really do believe in balance. I'm someone who, I like to live by an 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time, make good choices. Take the stairs, walk to work if you can, carry around a bottle of water so you hydrate, make healthy choices. But 20% of the time, or 30% one week, whatever it is you're feeling, have your candy, go enjoy a glass of wine, order the pizza at midnight. I don't care.
I love this.
But I think it's important that overall, if you live a healthy life, you'll realize that if you eat candy every single day, you're going to feel like crap.
Yeah. It's funny, it's the mental, the emotional, the physical, the spiritual, all work in tandem. If one is off, the rest of it's thrown off.
And I do believe that health is at the core of that.
Yeah.
Because how you treat your body, how you treat your mind, the foods you put in your body are a reflection of how you treat yourself. And so whether you're plant-based or you eat meat or whatever it is, just be conscious of it.
So, I'm going to circle back here in my last question with Girl Talk. A beautiful experience, lots of ups and downs, but you're still here sitting here today, empowering young women. What is it that you want them to take away from your story when they watch this interview, when they listen to you speak, when they see your Instagram posts, if they join the Healthy is Hot movement? What is it that you hope they take away from that?
Oh, I just want girls everywhere, young boys everywhere, honestly everyone, even myself. I want everyone to truly believe that they are enough and that they can make an impact in this world. But first things first, you have to believe that you are enough. And that's hard.
Yeah.
You got to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you are enough.
Yeah.
And then anything is possible.
Well, you are enough, honey.
Oh, I love you.
Yes, you are. I love you.
I will go on a date with you whenever you want. Straight up.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to give you my number.
Thank you. I really appreciate you opening up like that.